Hi, this is Dr. Dwight Turner. This is Being the Other. Let's get started. Hi, this is Dr. Dwight Turner. This is Being the Other. It's always a pleasure to talk to yourselves, running these podcasts and so on. I'm still running through, I guess, a few post-holiday thoughts and so about otherness. And what I've decided to do with one or two podcasts, and I probably intersperse these along the way anyway, is just talk about sort of my experience of being the other as I'm going through my day-to-day life, travels, whatever they might be. I might put a few more of those in because I think they could be quite illuminating in their own way. Yeah, for example, this video is taken whilst I'm actually out in Senegal. And a strange thing happened. This is my second day here, basically. And a strange thing happened yesterday when I arrived at my hotel, the original hotel. And I arrived quite late. It was a late evening flight. Got in about 1 in the morning. Got to the hotel about 2. And the owner of the hotel met me looking sort of crestfallen, actually, because he said that actually he didn't have a room for me because there's an issue with the previous occupant who was pregnant and had gone into contractions, and because of previous complications with pregnancy and so on, didn't want to leave the hotel just yet. Felt she couldn't quite travel just yet. And I thought about it, and I'd come a long way and so on. And he said to me, before I came up with anything, he said to me, what I can do is just, if you want, I've got a spare room in my apartment. So he invited me over to stay for the night. A very generous thing. And in this context, though, it had me thinking about otherness and what our expectations are when we're actually traveling and so on. It's quite, I sent a friend a message telling her what had happened. And she said to me, well, actually, he's gone way beyond what's expected of a hotel owner. And I thought about that as well. And I thought, well, actually, in a way, yeah, of course he has. He's put me up in his own place, and his apartment was actually quite nice. And we had breakfast, had lunch, and we talked an awful lot. And it gave me the chance to actually find out a bit more about him, his family. He found out a bit about myself, my family, and so on. And I talked a lot about Britain. He talked a lot about Senegal. We talked quite a long period of time just about life and stuff. That wouldn't have happened if I'd gotten onto my high horse and gotten all, I'm going to use this phrase, European about it, and demanded my rights to have a room that night that I already booked through a website or whatever. I would have missed out on all of that by actually taking the high road or acting from a sense of privilege. Not so much privilege, actually. Superiority, I think. Supremacy. I think that's maybe the phrase I should use here. This sense that, well, I've asked for it and you owe it to me, so therefore pay up. As if actually the hotel owner is subservient to me in a way. And I think this is one of the things I've been thinking about over the past day since the incident happened, is actually when we travel, how often do we actually choose to relate to those people behind the counter? Be they just the receptionist or the cleaner, or whatever it might be. Just is actually the wrong word. It's not the right word to use. A receptionist, the cleaner, the owner, whatever, and so on. It's not uncommon. When I travel, for example, I was traveling to a conference in London up from the coast and got into an interesting conversation with one of the people working behind the counter of quite a expensive, well-to-do sort of chain, just about psychotherapy. But those few minutes are really quite important because it builds a relationship between me and them, and I find out something too. That comes from a place of not needing to be superior, not needing to actually assert myself and to make the other person the other because they owe me something, because they have to do, they're supposed to be doing the job that they're supposed to be doing for my benefit. It comes from actually recognizing that actually, in a way, I am the other. I'm the one who's thrown out here to Senegal, and I'm the one who's having to work within a Senegalese system. I'm the one who's actually also had to find a way to actually work around an incident which is of nobody's control. Nobody's control. And it's actually really quite unfortunate. I don't know what happened to the woman involved. I really do hope she was well at the end of it. But, for me to be able to do my small part to actually make sure that she's more comfortable, actually, why wouldn't one do that? And I put this in one of my previous previous videos about ethics and so on. And I think this is actually what I'm talking about here. Where are the ethics when we talk about equality? Where are the ethics when we talk about our relationship with other person? There's a humanness that gets lost when we actually work from a more supreme place. I'm going to leave this one there because I think I've spoken long enough today. I just want to give you something to think about when you're going about your day-to-day business, about otherness and difference and the relationships that you encounter along the way. As always, it's a pleasure to do these for yourselves. And loads of them out on my website right now. I wouldn't keep doing them if I didn't enjoy doing them. As always, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, wherever you find me. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Take good care. Bye-bye.